Good evening, everyone, all the way from Thailand. Today I want to talk about transformation. For us, we get to travel all around the world to many meditation centers, and in our travels, we get to meet with so many people. You all get to say hello to us in person. We get to answer some of your questions. And then also during these periods, we'll meet people who will share their experience and their suffering. And some of the people will be at their rock bottom. And it's very sad, and my heart goes out to people in this situation where you're suffering, where you don't know how to get out, and you're not sure what steps do I do to move forward. But for us, when we meet with people who are suffering at this place, then we try to encourage them as best as we can. With the limited time that we have, we try to give our suggestion or inputs. We encourage them to keep going and don't give up, and also utilize their support system, the ones that they have, also the support system of the meditation center. And with this, then for us, we have to leave these places. And the great thing about this is then we'll start to get updates. The people who come back to these meditation centers, we'll hear back from them in the next couple months, in the next year, in the next 2 years, when we get these kind of updates, and it's very touching. And so many people we find from doing their work, coming back to these centers, then they start to change their lives. And to see the smile on people's faces again, it's absolutely beautiful. So today I wanted to talk about, for those who are struggling, what steps do I take? How do I start to shift my life and get out of this space? And there are so many solutions, but for me, I wanted to focus on one specific one. And that is that we need an environment, we need a community, or we need a program to support us. This is important because all of these things that I talked about, it comes with a system. Environment comes with its own system. A community comes with its own system and way of doing things, and also a program comes with that as well. And these programs, these communities all have their own goals. So when you place yourself in these situations, you enter into a new system. The system that you had before may not be working, and that's okay. But from that, we need to enter into a new space, subscribe to a new system that has its own rules and ways of doing things, and let it start to shift you. Because each system has an end goal. It produces something. So this can be helpful. And I want to give you a personal example. For me, why this video is important to make is because I was in that position. Before becoming a Buddhist monk, I was that regular guy in the corner, in the back of the room, so lost and not knowing, what do I do? I'm trying my best. I'm using all these approaches that people are telling me, but still my life isn't changing. And from that place, I knew I needed to do something drastic. I needed to get out of my old system and get some help. And from that, that's where the idea came of, let me go be a Buddhist monk in Thailand. Why is that? Without me even knowing, I think unconsciously, there's a part of me that knew in the monastery, something that was so foreign to me, they have their own system and way of doing things to produce men of peace. And when I look at these monks, I'm like, whoa, they have serenity, they have peace, They feel present and loving and kind. And of the monks that I got to meet, I'm like, I want that. And obviously the system in the monastery produces that result. I noticed for my own life at that time is I was too attached to my work. I was too attached to my identity, my relationships, romantic and platonic as well. And my image, my status, all of those things. And I knew without being successful in the outside world, I never had joy that came from inside. I never had joy without external stimulus. What is that like? And I knew going to Thailand, taking this risk and ordaining to become a Buddhist monk, the way that they train, that would start to rub off on me, and that can have a life-changing effect. So this was regarding the monkhood. Other ways that I saw that was helpful is when I wanted to work out. I wanted to get in shape. Doing this on my own was challenging, so I needed an environment that had a system that produces people who were in shape. So for me at that time, that's when I started going to the gym, connected with a group in Woodland Hills, California, where they did CrossFit, and they had their program. They had a way of working out, a way of eating, they had their schedule, and they produced people who had results. Another example is dance was such a big part of my life, and being a professional hip-hop dancer, I wanted to train to learn different styles. And to do other styles like modern and contemporary, you need ballet. So I knew if I wanted to be good, go find a system that produces good ballet dancers, that gives you good technique. And that's what I did. I sought out a great ballet company, a great ballet studio that was specific for that. Their teachers were very skilled and very disciplined and hard, but it produced results. So just putting myself in those environments then helped to shape me into the person that I was wanting to become. And for me, I share this because for those who are wanting to transform themselves, if you find that trying to change you by yourself, it's a bit too challenging and you need more of a support, then find that environment, find that community, or find that program. So the steps I would take, again, coming back to you, is the first one is, I feel like quite important, and that is to decide that you're ready to change. You gotta be in it and you gotta be ready to go, fed up with how things currently are, and I'm making a conscious choice and decision. I can't live like this and I want to make a change. That's the first one. The second step is then to find the environment, organization, or program that is going to give you the results that you're trying to achieve, whether that's health, whether that is a skill, that whether that is changing your habit, but whatever your goals are, then find that environment. The third thing is then go all in. Go all in and join with an open mind. And this is important because if you're wanting to change, you gotta surrender to their system. Let the teachers do what they need to do. Let the environment, they have the procedures, they have the schedule, they have their training to produce those results. So the more you can be fully open, the more you can surrender, I just find that the results will be more powerful. And we have many men who come to ordain in Thailand. It's so strange because some people come in the ego is so high and they don't want to change. It's so strange because when we try to share things with them, a new way of training them to be more peaceful in the monastery, then some people will say, I know. And when we come in with that attitude, we're not fully open, then you can't receive. And being humble, being open, when you can do that, then the wisdom will be poured into you. So the third step for you is in these programs, let it transform you. And then the last step is keep going. Keep going and keep showing up. Not 3 days, but 3 weeks, 3 months, 3 years, but allow this process to fully work. And all these things that I'm describing to you from my own personal experience of the monastery, of taking ballet classes, of going to the gym and doing CrossFit, each one of these dimensions, if I were to be honest, I didn't like it. In the beginning, I hated it. I hated it because it was so foreign, it was so new, it was so uncomfortable, and it challenged me, and it was not fun. But underlining all of that for me is I knew I needed it. I needed it because their way of doing things was different, and it was exactly what was needed to shift me into the person that I wanted to become. So if you're in that position, complain. Complain and keep going and keep showing up. Put your head down, get to work, and what I can share with you is with time, you'll start to notice changes. With time, you'll start to notice a shift in thought, speech, and action. With time, the heaviness that you have currently will lessen and it will feel lighter. But this is something that I just wanted to encourage you, and a lot of people don't step into this kind of realm because they're afraid, and that's okay. And I just find that the things that scare us is the thing that will fully transform us and the thing that we need most. So hopefully this resonates with some of you out there, but keep looking, find that environment, do your work, and hopefully one day you can share with me your process and your progress, and just rooting you on all the way from Thailand. But I hope this is helpful. Satu everyone, take care.